Meanwhile, today, caught on camera, chaos in the middle of a busy intersection. A group of street racers clashing, flipping a car onto its roof, and then a firework explodes. You see it right there, just inches away.
And guys, it did not stop there. That wild scene unfolded in a Seattle neighborhood. Neighbors who live there say they're over it. It's become a regular occurrence, blocks from the heart of UW.
KOMO's Cole Miller is live with a closer look at that shocking video. And Cole, what are police telling you about this today?
Well, they're still looking into this, Steve, Michelle, and this is a topic, of course, that we have been covering extensively over the course of the last few months. We've seen some wild things play out, including drivers hitting people right out here in front of the Space Needle. Thankfully, no one was hurt in this latest event. Again, SPD still investigating, but neighbors say it is only a matter of time until that changes. Kicking, punching, and absolutely trashing that car. That crowd then lifting it up, flipping it over onto its roof. Seconds later, a large firework ignites. And just when you think it can't get any worse, a Jeep comes along, pushing it out of that intersection. Needless to say, it was a wild late Friday night in the U District where this video was taken at 47th Street and 11th Avenue.
People were just like screaming and yelling. So that kind of wakes me up. The donuts get pretty crazy, but then like the fireworks can get sometimes annoying because like they're really loud.
Today, remnants of fireworks and those tire tracks can still be seen. Seattle police say reports started coming in of street racing and donuts happening here with upwards of 50 cars and 200 people. By the time officers showed up, much of that group had already dispersed. And police say this is a problem not just here, but up and down the Puget Sound. They work with other law enforcement agencies because oftentimes, it's the same drivers in each of those cities. And sending officers can be tricky because more often than not, they are outnumbered.
And I'm sure from their perspective, it becomes unsafe for them to react to that.
Anson Lin is the manager of a nearby apartment building. He and others say this is at least the third time a group has turned their home into their personal playground.
We really have to deter this kind of action and be more proactive and rather than reactive to this.
Lynn tells me he'd like to see police stage here on Friday nights before it gets completely out of control.
It just makes everyone feel really unsafe.
Well, Eric, we're going to be short of a lot of Johnson & Johnson vaccines this upcoming week, as is most of the country. But the company says the setback won't stop them from being able to deliver 100 million doses by the end of May.
The vaccine forecast for that one-shot wonder is bleak.
Just a bit less than what we were hoping for.
An issue at a factory Johnson & Johnson was using to manufacture its COVID-19 vaccine ruined about 15 million doses last week. Because of that, Washington is one of a number of places that won't be receiving the amount of vials they were anticipating.
So our 3-week forecast does show a significant drop in Johnson & Johnson.
If you look at that forecast, on April 1st, the state was expecting to get 41,000 doses of J&J for next week. Instead, we're going to be getting less than 13,000. The next week, we were planning on getting 41,000 doses, but instead, we're going to be expecting about 4,300.
And that's the part that we were hoping for a larger allocation.
Despite the setback, both Pfizer and Moderna will still be sending about 350,000 shots. But this gives fewer opportunities for people who wanted that single-shot vaccine.
The company is working closely with the FDA to resolve any manufacturing issues.
COVID-19 coordinator for the White House, Jeff Zients, says until the FDA approves its manufacturing, we can expect fewer doses.
What the company has told us is once they have authorization, that they will be able to have a weekly cadence of up to 8 million doses per week.
How long it will take to get that authorization from the FDA remains to be seen, but the Department of Health is optimistic these low numbers will go back up.
Johnson & Johnson tells us they're still on track to meet their commitment.
Next week, some counties could be forced to move back in the state's reopening plan. And for businesses hoping to somehow get back to normal, rolling back a phase and returning to more restrictive measures might be a tough pill to swallow. KOMO's Suzanne Fawn gives us a look at what Phase 3 looks like and what it would mean to move back to Phase 2.
At Assembly Barbershop in Seattle, they've got a steady stream of clients. The brand new barbershop opened up during the pandemic.
We're glad we're here.
And they've always kept things spaced out and socially distanced. During Phase 3, that means only 50% capacity.
We're also not able to get in as many clients as every day as we'd like to. Like right now, we're operating at an appointment every hour to give us time to clean up, sanitize.
A block away, the owner of Petra Mediterranean Bistro says being in phase 3 at 50% capacity has helped his business stay afloat. The idea of moving to phase 2.
It doesn't feel right because it's going backward.
King County is not in danger of moving back to phase 2, but Pierce County and a few other counties are. We checked in with the owner of Quest Gym, Puyallup, about the anticipated rollback in phases.
Definitely disappointed.
What does moving back to phase 2 look like? Moving from 50% back to 25% capacity. And that means
we may have some scheduling so that we're scheduling appointments, but we also have the ability to have a back area opened up. So a little less fear for us because we can actually expand outside as long as the weather is good.
And for restaurants, the idea of moving back to 25% capacity will hit some harder than others. Before the pandemic, Mama Stratini's Ristorante in Puyallup could seat up to 250 people. The general manager says moving back in phases is not a big setback for them.
Not as much to us as to other restaurants because of our seating capacity and how large our restaurant is. The larger the restaurant is, the less of effect I think it has on you, especially if you're not completely full all the time.
In Seattle, Suzanne Fawn, KOMO News.
Next.
Mary, it has been a frightening few days for that family, and not just that family, but everyone else who lives near that apartment complex that is still under construction. And the 31-year-old who has been arrested is spending the night at the King County Jail. He has been denied bail. Wearing the scars of a fire from less than a week ago, this apartment complex still being finished near 23rd and South Plum, the scene of yet another fire early Friday morning. A crew there cleaning up what they could, resecuring that fence surrounding it.
It's been really scary. I just wish this would have been more secured than it was.
That's the voice of a woman who lives next door and did not want to go on camera. She says her husband woke up and noticed a small fire burning. When he spotted someone coming out from behind that fence, that's when he grabbed his bicycle and rode after him. Finally catching up with him near this Burger King on Rainier Avenue.
The guy was giving him a hard time, but he was laying on top of him.
And this video shows the fire from last Saturday, also ruled arson, burning hot and blowing out windows.
It was kind of intense. If these things collapse, I mean, it can, half of the building can come this way.
Seattle police and its arson and bomb squad now investigating if that man is connected to any other arsons, including a string of them in Renton just last weekend.
We're going to look into it. We're going to see if the MO matches, just like with any other crime.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.